2024 begins with a bang. We have Mercury stationing direct on the 1st of January, so things can start really moving more forward for us in more clarity, as Jupiter also just stationed direct on the 30th of December. And then on the 20th of January, we have a very, very big day, as that day Mercury goes out of shadow and the Sun and Pluto conjunct and ingress into Aquarius, which officially marks, to me, the age of Aquarius that we are moving into. And this is also a 20-year transit that will completely transform humanity and the world as we know it. And then we also have on the 13th and 14th of February, which is traditionally Valentine's Day time, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto at this 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is also a time where we can expect more violence in the world and just more ruthlessness in general, criminal activity. But on a personal level, we could expect ourselves to just feel much more empowered. We can feel more that we have more willpower to push through and to push something forward. But it is important to really use temperance with this intensity at that time. And then on April 20th, we have Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting in the sign of Taurus, which is a rare event. I also cover what this has done in the past in my 2024 astrology highlights video. So I will also link that below so you can check it out if you like. But on a world scale, this is a huge, could be a very huge unexpected event. But with Jupiter involved, we would hope that it could be mostly beneficial and liberating in some way. But of course, this possibly has to do with Taurian, Uranian, and Jupiterian themes. So this leads us to agriculture, food, banking, financial currencies, and so forth. And with the ruler of this conjunction in Taurus, Venus, is currently in Aries at the time of this conjunction. And in Aries, she's actually in the Duad that's ruled by Uranus and Saturn, which is an Aquarian Duad, which again leads us back to the Sun and Pluto ingressing into Aquarius on the 20th of January. And that Aquarian digital energy, and Pluto, again, financial, powerful shifts. And with the Sun, with that initial ingress, I feel it really just indicates more, like a leadership kind of legislation. The 11th house, Aquarius, very much deals with legislation in regards to big financial shifts. And then, of course, we have Mars as the dispositor over Venus, the ruler, at the time of the conjunction is in Pisces, where it's more subdued emotional energy. But it moves into its own sign, Aries, on the 30th of April, which is only 10 days after this conjunction, where it can then move forward with action towards plans. And then we also want to look at what is Venus like when Venus is in Aries, as she is the ruler of this conjunction. Venus in Aries is more aggressive to what she desires. She will very impulsively move towards partnerships and alliances, and she can have us be just more aggressive with our social expression. So that can also give you more of an idea of what can be going on at this time. And then in May, we have, at the end of May, the 25th of May, we have Jupiter ingressing into Gemini. So this is very positive, I feel, as it brings a lot of tolerance between us. It strengthens community, our sense of community and compassion. It makes us more broad-minded, and it also brings in much more information and curiosity at this time, and definitely much more communication. And then this year we still have the nodes in Aries and Libra. So we are moving from the partnership dynamic with the South Node in Libra to the more to exploring the more individual dynamic of North Node in Aries, where we're more also aware of our rights and freedoms and what we want to move and initiate moving forward. This is also the axis of me and the other. This is also the axis of peace and war, love and war, which is what we are facing in the world right now, with Mars and Venus ruling the nodes. Now we will also, and actually you can think back at 2004 and up to June of 2006, the nodes would have been in Aries and Libra at that time. So you can think about connections and themes that you may have had at that time as well. Now we will have eclipses in March, April, September, and October. Now, in my opinion, the April eclipse is going to be one to watch. Of course, we have activation 6 months prior and post with eclipses, so it's not necessarily that day, but that's definitely a theme to watch. We also have our first Pisces eclipse in September, as the nodes will shift to Virgo and Pisces in February, I believe, of 2025. And we have a very fire energy this year, as we have all of our retrogrades in fire signs this year. We have Mercury retrograding in Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And then we have Mars retrograding at the end of the year, December 6th up until February of 2025. And this Leo house has been really a big theme for you in your chart, as we had the Mercury retrograde there in August of 2024. 2023, we had Venus retrograding in Leo. And now we will have Mars retrograding there as well at the end of the year. So the Leo house is going through some transformations, definitely. And we are definitely learning about standing in our autonomy and our sovereignty with all this fire element going on. So this year I really feel like there's very much a theme of blue and red, with the Aquarian emphasis and the fire emphasis, and very much that blue and red pill, making big choices, Jupiter and Gemini, choosing sides, the duality of Gemini as well, and the mental energy of such a strong Aquarius, and then also Jupiter moving into Gemini this year. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of decision making, moving forwards with that North Node in Aries, initiating. And this really is a year where we have the courage to pursue our passions with conviction. And we are marking our uniqueness, our unique differences, which strengthens our communities. And it strengthens us in humanity as a whole. And through this strengthening, we allow room for creative innovation, which once again propels us forward and helps us to move upwards, upgrading more, which is also Aquarius. And this is all while we are protecting our individuality in the face of huge earth and cosmic shifts. I would also highly recommend taking good care of your lymph this year, your lymphatic system, your immune system, and also cleansing the blood regularly and detoxing. So I would highly recommend suggesting supportive herbs such as holy basil, turmeric, milk thistle, and cayenne pepper. This is not medical advice. Have a blessed 2024. Welcome, Libra rising. This is your 2024 astrology horoscope potentials. Pluto has been in your fourth house since 2008, and Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through and then rebuilds it transformed and renewed and aligned with your truth. The area of life that Pluto moves through will bring power and control issues into your awareness. You will relearn and redo power and control in the area of your life that Pluto is in, which in your case is the area of home and your most personal feelings and connections to your past, especially your childhood. Now, you've been passing through Pluto's complete transformation since 2008, which is the area of home, family, parents, the past, your childhood, your private emotional inner world, and your roots. So basically, your home country or ancestry and the country that you were born in. Now, this is the area where you may have had many issues or childhood patterns that subconsciously control you, and topics regarding your parents or the past could have come up within to be dealt with on an emotional level. You may have been realizing the effect it had on you as a child, or childish behavior and old coping mechanisms can automatically come up when you are being triggered. Therefore, there may have been many opportunities that caused inward changes, as well as changes in where you live, where you work, your relationships with your parents, women, your family, or your place of birth. You can have power struggles in this area. Some experience divorce or a death or a separation, changes in who lives in your home, where you live, rebuilding or redoing your home, or changing your relationship to what home and family means to you, realizing what you would want for a home. There are permanent shifts taking place here now, especially with Pluto about to ingress the next sign. Healing your past and gaining more emotional self-control will allow new growth and transformation in this area of home and heart. Now, Pluto will ingress into your fifth house of Aquarius on the 20th of January 2024 for a transit of 20 years as it ingresses Aquarius. It will be conjoined by the Sun in a powerful conjunction. Now, in 2023, it was here for a brief 3 months, March, April, May. So you can think back at any connections of that time, as it will briefly retrograde also back into the last degree of Capricorn in September of 2024 to finalize something in your fourth house where it's been for 15 years. So it's moving on in January. It's starting a brand new 20-year cycle, or transit, I should say. But it's still not done with Capricorn. There's some little detail that still will be taken care of in September as Pluto visits back there and then moves forward into Aquarius again, where it will begin to transform the area of children, creative projects, self-employment, hobbies, entertainment, luck, lovers, financial investments, communal property, romance, fun, freedom, as well as self-expression. Now, during this time, as Pluto moves through this fifth house, some give birth, or some, if they have children, you may have a very powerful influence on them during this transit. Regardless, they would have completely changed you on the deepest level and transform your emotional life. At times, Pluto here can indicate too much pressure or power over children if they are your own, or if you teach or work with children, or it can indicate a child that may be manipulative or has a strong hold that controls over the parent. Sometimes this can just indicate a child going through something, some kind of trauma or psychological development, or maybe the child is changing phases, like going into a teenage phase, and there's just more, you know, just more power plays at play. In some cases, this can be a child, like I said, eventually becoming a teenager and dealing with teenage hormones, testing their boundaries. There can be power struggles, which can ruin a relationship. So there can also be issues connected to, just moderation on both sides. Where are you exerting too much power and control over a child? And vice versa, and where does there need to be some balance, and maybe even therapy can be brought in if necessary. Now, there can be power struggles here which can ruin a relationship, like I've mentioned, so be careful with this. This might be a time where you need to step back a bit and let go and see where your child might require some assistance. There can be a possibility for inheritance with Pluto here. There can also be issues connected to a lover, or jealousy connected to a lover or to children. How you have fun and what you do for fun can change permanently with Pluto here. How you see freedom can change. You can also have strong emotions connected to politics and your worldview and how you want to raise your children and who you want to date, as they would have to be aligned with your views on the world as well. In rare cases, you can lose a child here, or a child can experience a near-death experience or go through emotional turmoil or events such as sexual exploitation of some kind. It's important, if you have young children, to also protect them from sexual predators during a transit such as this. In some cases, if you are in a long-term committed relationship, you can go through a very intense and testing time while Pluto transits here. For some, very degrading, dealing with narcissism, control, manipulation, infidelity, and you may not make it through this transit. Your relationship can go through a complete death and rebirth, so to speak, which can turn it into something deeply intense and divine, or something dark and intense and super ready to end by the end of this transit, where it has just died, so to speak. But it can still be almost feeling like it's impossible to let go, as if it's more of a trauma bond with this transit. So it's important with any relationships that begin as Pluto transits into this house that you are very aware of not getting engaged in any unhealthy relationships, and that you want to enter into relationships with healed people. And that also starts by healing yourself first, which you've already started on with Pluto's transit through the fourth house. So this is really about becoming, practically using that wisdom now, and practically transforming your physical world with that knowledge and that awareness. You would be more attracted to very deep and intense people with this transit, not superficial interests. By the end of this long transit, you will have an inner knowing that in order for you to not physically become ill from resentment or unforgiveness, that you need to purge, and you will know where. It will be a time for you to take your power back and live your life to the fullest again. And you will be able to let go of those intense reins on the teenager, possibly, if there is one, trusting more and giving the benefit of the doubt. Realistically, this is a time where I would suggest seeing a therapist if necessary, or checking if your children need it. You can turn also a talent or a hobby into a powerful business with this transit. and have a powerful influence over other people regarding political views, or even just in how you are dealing with whatever obstacles may come your way in this area of life, and how you are transforming that into something beautiful. And then Neptune has been in your sixth house of Pisces since 2011 and will be here until 2025, where you may have found more spiritual attunement in your everyday life, and you may have felt more removed from society or the reality everyone else may be in. You can be more susceptible to illness and allergies here, or harder to diagnose illnesses. It would be important to stay away from drugs or alcohol or any escapism techniques or substances that can be unhealthy or lead to drownings or accidents or laziness and loss. Don't forget others' advice blindly. Research and find the truth. You may start a diet or exercise or meditation technique or habit that others might find unusual, such as quitting meat. You could work more in institutions such as hospitals or prisons, or somewhere where you may wear a uniform, or deal with service towards others, like selfless work, even volunteering. And in some cases, Neptune here can bring instability in work, or loss of work, or deception in the workplace. So some can find others do not really understand them in their daily interactions with Neptune here. So you may find it harder to communicate with some. So it's important to keep everything very clear and concise. You may find it harder to stay optimistic, but your faith will carry you through. With Neptune here, you'll want to stay flexible and flow with the water. It would be good to detox regularly and really pay attention to the cleaning of your lymph, as well as taking better care of your feet. Uranus has been in your 8th house of Taurus since 2018 and will be here until 2026. Now, you may have been experiencing much changes already. Genius ideas, innovation, and solutions, and or unusual occurrences regarding topics such as shared resources, trauma, trust and intimacy. Uranus here can bring sudden endings and beginnings, or quitting the old to start the new. Powerful events or unusual experience can change you on a subconscious level. Fate-filled events occur. This can be a revolutionary time in your life. A near-death experience or the death of someone could affect you deeply. If also other transits support this, in other senses, the income of your spouse or a business partner can change or fluctuate. Financials will most likely fluctuate greatly, and you want to become as independent financially as possible with this transit. This is a great time to work on inventive ways of getting out of debt, if you have any. Some may become angry and rebellious over money and maybe just refuse to pay their taxes or a bill of some kind. In some cases, this can bring about the break of an agreement, cutting someone off financially or being cut off. It can bring in unusual sexual experiences and passions. Your relationship can go through a deep and needed change that is liberating in some way. If you meet someone new during this transit, it could fizz out quickly. So be more conscious of taking your time and not jumping in too quickly. If you are in a relationship, this could be a great time to try and spice things up, change things, go on an adventure, and give each other more freedom to be yourself and maybe a bit more space. It can also be, in some cases, that if you are in a committed or non-committed relationship, that you just want more independence financially, where you somehow just prefer to have each their own finances. I take care of my responsibilities, you take care of your responsibilities, and that's just how we like to go with things. And then Saturn has been in Pisces from March 2023 and will be in your sixth house until March of 2025. Now, Saturn here can bring up chronic health issues or health issues that occur due to being overworked or overstressed, or it can bring up illnesses that take longer to recover from. Personal detachment heightens here with Saturn, so you may feel either accepted or rejected by your peers or in your everyday environment. If you work from home, this can even be your family. You can feel very overwhelmed with work during this transit or heavily loaded with responsibilities. Also, possibly taking care of someone ill or dealing with someone ill on a daily basis, even a pet, or being separated from a pet, or just less optimistic now, having to cut back and streamline your life more, as if you just cannot enjoy your life right now, as if something's blocking you from your rewards. You're working harder and not necessarily receiving the recognition yet. A delayed reward. Some can feel defeated or very pessimistic and dark with this transit. The best way to deal with this is to remember that Saturn rewards hard work, always. And even if you put in the time now, which can feel like this is all you're doing, work, 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 no time for anything or anyone else, especially fun, or maybe even working for free right now, just doing your best, as the reward and karmic pay will come when Saturn is in your next house, the seventh house. So for now, you may have been feeling as if your humanness have been tested, as if you do not have enough time in the day. Remind yourself that this too shall pass. Prepare now for tomorrow. This is a critical time for development for you, possibly learning from your peers or from yourself about self-discipline and time management. You will be seen in a different way once Saturn passes through this area, and you'll be so much more secure within yourself. So keep at it, conserve your energies, stay consistent, stay in step with your health routines as much as possible. Make sure you exercise to release stress. Otherwise, it goes and sits in the body and manifests as illness. Stay balanced in your nutrition. Sleep and rest versus work and responsibilities is very important now. The top of the mountain is in view. Keep climbing. Jupiter has been in your 8th house as of May 2023 and will be here until the 25th of May 2024, when it will then move into Gemini. So while it's in your 8th house, it's also here with Uranus, where I just spoke about. Now, Jupiter here can indicate inheritance or a death that brings relief in some way, the death of a partner or a parent. Of course, other transits would need to support this. Therefore, it's very rare. It would be more important to be cautious financially and to not make debt at this time, but to also not be taken for granted by others, including topics such as freeloaders, unsound causes, asking for donations, etc., or connecting with criminals or people and groups that seem spiritual but has no spiritual depth or integrity. Jupiter here can indicate benefiting from others financially in some way or through other beneficial experiences such as travel or adventures that allow for deeply transformative experiences. You can also gain financially through a spouse or a partnership or agreement of some kind of investment that pays out, or a tax return of some kind. Sometimes this can indicate a spouse who has an increase in their income. Your sexual drive can increase now, and your need for truth and trust and intimacy can be expanding. This can, in most cases, be a good time to pool resources or start a business partnership. You can receive more help from others during this transit, financially, but also emotionally. You can experience opportunities that trigger deep emotional responses from previous trauma that can now be brought up for healing. Your life will be enriched in the long run from what you go through now, and you will have a deeper understanding of yourself and your relationships with others and the past. It will be a spiritual regeneration of sorts. This can also be the effects you see for your partner or spouse, growth financially or spiritually in some way. In some cases, this can indicate giving birth or ultimately a death and rebirth in this area of your life. It's ultimately a liberating experience. And in some cases, this can even mean that you are, resolving issues with betrayal and trust and learning how to commit to a healthier you in order to be able to commit to healthier commitments with others, healthier agreements, healthier relationships, and being able to take relationships to the next level, whether that's in a spiritual way or an actual practical way moving forward. Jupiter will ingress Gemini, your ninth house, on the 25th of May for 1 year. Now you can think back about 12 years ago, as this is where Jupiter was at that time. Therefore, similar connections or themes can play out now as Jupiter visits this area of your life. Jupiter here can add focus and momentum to begin further studies or teaching or publishing or disseminating information in some way. A travel opportunity could appear, or you may decide to expand your knowledge regarding metaphysics, spirituality, religion, philosophy, or even another language of some kind. Learning more about children or spending time volunteering with children abroad. Something new connected to your in-laws or a father figure. You may start a new book or begin to write one. You meet or connect with foreign people, or people very different from you, or that have different beliefs than you. You may teach overseas or initiate this idea. You may want to back up a belief with more research or study on it in order to spread factual information far and wide about it. You may spend more time in church or praying or meditating or searching for higher meaning and learning much about the world around you, as well as a higher perspective on life and your purpose in it. You are after the truth with this transit, and your intuition and sense of knowingness is strong. You can experience prophetic dreams and find new direction and purpose for your life purpose moving forward. Now, on the 20th of April, 2024, Jupiter and Uranus will conjunct in Taurus. Now, this is where Jupiter is with Uranus, obviously, in your 8th house. So this is before Jupiter moves into this Gemini 9th house. This is still in April, where it's still in Taurus, in your 8th house. And with this conjunction, you can listen more to my in-depth discussion on how this may affect the world in a positive or negative way. The possibilities exist for both. If you click on the link in the description box below, you can listen to my 2024 astrology highlights, which is more the mundane forecast for the collective. Now, yourself and the sign Taurus is ruled by Venus. And therefore, this conjunction in a Venus-ruled sign will affect you maybe more so than others. So that can be a powerful time of growth, sudden opportunities that enhances freedom and evolution in some way. This can be, in your case, let's just say, new discoveries and innovation regarding Taurian and Uranian and international themes worldwide. But for you, this is in your 8th house of transformation. It deals with the occult, other people's money, debt, taxes, your spouse's income, your shared resources with others, the joint account, trust, betrayal, intimacy, sex, secrets, trauma, psychology, birth, surgery, death and rebirth, alchemy. So this can really play out in a variety of different ways. This can be a sudden need for a surgery. This could be a miraculous healing from something. This could be a financial breakthrough. This could be, an intimate breakthrough in intimacy. So the sky is the limit, literally, with this conjunction. So keep an eye out for that. Then Mars will ingress Capricorn on the 4th of January in your 4th house. Now, this is where you can experience extreme emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family or a parent. Past subconscious feelings can come up now almost explosively. So you can spend time moving or working from or on your home. There can be more fighting at home, or even just a sense of wanting to live alone. It can feel as if someone's trying to block you in some way, or maybe even you're blocking yourself in some way. This is a time where it's easier for you or a parent to get injured at home. So be more careful, especially with fires, knives in the kitchen, and so on. Try to be more compromising where you can. Avoid being overly bossy and demanding to those around you. There can be more violence and action in your place of birth, or where you were born, your home country, or your ancestral roots, or where that is, that location. Now, Mars will also ingress into Aquarius on the 13th of February and powerfully conjunct Pluto there in your 5th house, where Mars can enhance leadership ability, your drive for power and control, and the urge to succeed can increase now. You could start a new relationship at this time, or be more sexual and romantic now, more expressive. It's good to work on a relationship and try new exciting things to spice it up if you are in a committed relationship. You may partake in sport of some kind. You could start your own business or move your creative hobbies into a more serious side hustle, so to speak. This is also a time where there can be more conflict involving a child or arguments, and also the possibilities of accidents with a child. They could be going through hormonal developments at this time. It's also more possible to be more nitpicky with children or your own creative work. But you will be much more attentive to detail now and crossing those T's. Avoid being too judgmental, and remind children to be more safe as they are more accident prone. Spending time with your children or around children could be good for you and for them at this time. A child may require more attention or help with homework or work. In some cases, this could be a child starting a job. There is more possibilities now for getting pregnant. So if you don't want to get pregnant, keep it wrapped up. But there's a strong likelihood that you could meet someone new or have more opportunity to work on the love relationships in your life. Take action and have more fun. This can also be the beginning of a financial investment, either for yourself into your own business, or just investments period, that you may want to take a risk of some kind. So make sure that you're very, very careful with any risk takings during this time. Mars will enter your 6th house of Pisces on the 22nd of March, where Mars can bring up health issues, digestive and inflammatory issues, headaches, fevers, as well as accidents at work or in everyday routines. So there can be more also opportunity for not getting along with coworkers, or you may start a new job with Mars here, or maybe, get a new vehicle for your new job, a new position, or maybe you want to work more alone or on a project by yourself, or in some cases you can quit your job. It can indicate that you're overworked, and it can put over into health issues. Make sure you take time to rest and take care of yourself. Sometimes this can denote orderliness or hard work or much detailed work and being more practically oriented regarding solutions and your approach. In some cases, this can indicate a new exercise routine or a new health routine and just really taking action towards that. Mars will enter your 7th house of Aries on the 30th of April, where he can bring arguments and discord in close one-on-one connections and spousal relations. You can experience more selfishness or competitiveness here, conflict, or you can use this time to work on the relationship or work on a project together whilst bettering your communication and working on the relationship with each other. In some cases, you can break up. In others, you can start a new relationship now that's more physical. It can indicate more sexual experiences here. In some cases, this can indicate legal action and lawsuits, or just general friction between you and others where there's maybe one-on-one consultations. Regardless, the tendency to act against one's own best interest can rear its head at this time. So take better care of your health and think before you act or operate any machinery. Mars will also ingress your 8th house of transformation of Taurus on the 9th of June. Now, this is the same house where Uranus sits. Mars here gives more purposeful drive, determined and courageous action, a do or die energy. This brings in topics of other people's money, working with it or taking out a loan or arguing about joint resources. This could indicate investing into something or starting a new partnership or ending one. This could indicate sex and intimacy that's profound and life-changing for you, or a traumatic accident or event or person that completely changes your life or the way that you perceive it. A death and a rebirth in this area. Mars will ingress Gemini on the 20th of July, which is your 9th house, where you could be dealing with more intellectual work or have to defend your beliefs more. You may want to share your views with the world. You want to travel or work abroad or publish something, study something, or finish a program that you've been studying, or start a business with import and exports, or take a trip. Maybe it involves work. It would be important with Mars here to be more safety oriented during travel, or to consult an astrologer to see if it is a good time for you to go by looking at the entirety of the chart. You may be more interested in researching the deeper meanings of life now, philosophy. You may preach, or for some, this can indicate legal issues like a lawsuit. This can involve accidents abroad or actions involving your in-laws or your father, a teacher, or a foreigner. Now, Mars will ingress Cancer on September 4th, which is your 10th house of career, where you can work hard on something you are passionate about, or where you may want to work hard because you identify with what you're putting your energy towards. Mars here can sometimes indicate an independent project or working on something by yourself or for yourself. There can be more possibility or tension or stress in the workplace with a boss or in a group dynamic with Mars here. It can cause more conflict in some cases between coworkers as well as the public. Some can decide now to quit or change jobs or positions, or rather to work for themselves, as it can feel as if your efforts are being put down. Emotional instability can appear with Mars here, or emotional outbursts. So you can find you're naturally more selfish at this time, or having to think this way in order to get ahead for some reason. It is important now to be more cooperative if possible, and to learn from any criticism you can get. You can make huge progress here if you avoid engaging in the opposition and rather have it fuel your determination to get the job done well. Rather, Just keep your mouth shut and just get it done. Get the authority on your side, even if you just do it for yourself. For some, Mars here can have your work go viral in some way or public in some way, or you may end a partnership or leave a marriage or meet someone new, maybe even at work. Either way, this transit can affect all areas of life, conflicts versus home and career, partners and your physical health and approach to life. This transit will keep you busy, but you will be able to get a lot done. But again, accident prone, so think before you do or speak or drive, and take better care of your health. This can also affect a parent, all of the above. Now, Mars will ingress Leo on November 3rd, your 11th house, where it will also retrograde in December into February of 2025, where you may be more actively formulating goals, rethinking them, and you may be actively pursuing them or preparing to do so. Your work is more geared towards the future now. Mars here can sometimes make it harder to work within a group dynamic or a team environment as you're naturally more selfish. But you can also experience tension and friction with coworker dynamics and group dynamics because of this. There's more chance of conflict between friends or groups that you belong to. Therefore, working by yourself or just more independently in some way can benefit you if you can possibly arrange that. Focus on being more cooperative with others. But this can be great for new inventive ideas, for group sport, for taking action on something that you wanted to get legal paperwork for, or some kind of certification. You're acting upon your future now, and your work and the connections in your life have to have some sort of connection to your future and your goals and where you see yourself going. And it has to have some kind of personal gratification connected to it as well. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea here. And then retrogrades, I'll only be covering the personal planets in this summary, as well as the eclipses. I'm just going to briefly go over them as I'll be covering them more in detail during the year. Now, Mercury will be retrograding in all fire signs this year, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. And while it's retrograding in Leo, it will begin in Virgo and then move into Leo. So Mercury will retrograde in your 7th house of Aries from the 1st to the 25th of April, from 27 degrees Aries to 15 degrees Aries. Now, in the 7th house, whether we're dealing with a marital or business partner, Mercury's transit prompts a reconsideration of terms. Personal relationships often involve unspoken contracts and agreements ranging from normal tasks, from, hanging the laundry to washing the dishes, to more complex matters such as handling disagreements with family members or financial issues. These unwritten rules are conveyed through body language and other behaviors. So during this transit, those unspoken things may find its way out to the surface, providing an opportunity to clear the path and to balance the scales a bit more. But conversely, old issues that has been forgotten could resurface. Old relationships, old lovers can come up on the scene and return. Or it could be that you need to revisit issues that you had in previous relationships in order to benefit you through growth, in order to not repeat those same things in your current relationship, and so forth. So old relationships can resurface for different reasons. Now, Mercury retrograde here can bring closeness by allowing the airing of differences. But by the end of this transit, it's possible that both parties will feel a deeper understanding, whether that is through separation or through getting closer as a couple. Traditionally, it's not recommended to start anything new with a Mercury retrograde, so you don't want to start a new relationship. You don't want to get married or get engaged or sign any contracts or agreements of any kind during a Mercury retrograde, as the chances of there being information that's missing or faulty information or you might just change your mind, Mercury, once it goes direct. Therefore, any changes that you do now has to be stuff that you can actually change again, that's flexible like that. Otherwise, you want to try and stall it, or make sure that you can still change it in some way. Yes, I think that's all I want to say about that. Then Mercury will also retrograde in your 11th and 12th houses of Virgo and Leo from the 5th to the 28th of August, from 4 degrees Virgo to 21 degrees Leo. Now, while in Virgo, the 12th house, when Mercury undergoes retrograde here, there's a heightened inclination towards separation, to solitude, to tranquility. Some individuals may feel a compelling draw towards their inner psychology. Mercury's influence can deliver messages from your deep unconscious mind. You can go through really revealing dreams. So it's a good time to keep a record of your dreams, as you can see things in a different light through your dreams. There can be valuable insights now, or through prayer and meditation. At times it might seem like solitude prevails, leaving one with a sense of self-reliance. The solitude can stem from the necessity of making personal decisions about what comes next. Regrets can surface, evoking sorrow or missed opportunities, unrealized potentials. It's important now to stay compassionate with yourself and to release burdens, to seek therapy and talk to someone if you want to about your past. This is a great time for therapy with Mercury retrograde here. But if your internal narratives take a dark turn, this is important that you trust in the ability to make sound decisions independently moving forward, to craft a positive conclusion. The 12th house connects with spiritual matters and receives a significant boost during a retrograde like this, as the external world will lose its influence on you. You'll be heightened in your psychic awareness, and you'll be more sensitive to frequencies and other people's energies and to God's voice. Synchronicity becomes more vivid. It offers more opportunities for spiritual renewal. And to help, what can really help right now is to engage in practices like meditation, prayer, breath work, breaking mental chains, establishing, a new holistic routine that deals with not just your physical health, but your body and the mind, body, spirit, the balance between all of this. And this can all foster a deeper connection with God and your spiritual life. This can also, in some very practical matters, mean that there could be trips that there's a change in a retreat or a holiday that you had planned, or a faraway place that you were going to visit, or something like that. Now, while it's retrograde in Leo, your 11th house, it's an opportune time for a reunion with old friends, or even an old lover that maybe you were connected to online in some way, possibly through unexpected encounters. Conversely, this transit may indicate a temporary withdrawal from the social scene, whether by choice or by circumstance. If such situations occur, it could signify a need to rediscover your own identity away from others. away from those political groups, away from those social influences, those friends, especially if there's been an imbalance between your personal time and socializing. Misunderstandings among friends can arise, emphasizing the importance of clarity also before making decisions about relationships. Gossip and rumors can happen now. This can disrupt otherwise healthy connections, prompting the need to adhere to a hear no evil, speak no evil approach. This phase may also prompt a reassessment of connections that no longer contribute positively. Mercury retrograde here can help you to discern your real friendships and encourages reflection on the dynamics of the circles that you move in. It serves as a reminder that individuals make their own choices and one cannot control the decisions of others. Additionally, it's linked to your dreams and your goals. So this is a time where you can really be rethinking your path forward, rekindle past aspirations or seek inspiration for the future, research the networks that you're aligned with, their objectives, fostering motivation and direction towards your goals, so that once Mercury turns direct, you're going to be much more clear on where you're headed and how you're going to get there. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your third house of Sagittarius on the 25th of November till the 15th of December 2024, from 22 degrees Sagittarius to 6 degrees Sagittarius. Now, in the third house, there's a heightened emphasis on various modes of communication, transportation, as well as the mental processes. The mind can feel active, and Mercury's transit in this area can occasionally amplify our nervous tendencies, our overthinking, our concerns and worry. So it's crucial to carve out moments of quietude, to gain clarity. And on a profound level, there's an internal processing of existing knowledge. And any confusion can indicate that you need either more information or you might need to wait for clarity once it's direct. But this is also important that you may be looking at the condition of your vehicle. It's advisable to conduct some maintenance on like car repairs, check your tires, be more careful when you are embarking on short trips. It's essential to, you might find disruptions like a change in your commute to work or delays in traffic, miscommunication, your phone can die. This is not a great time to buy new electronics or anything like that. You want to wait till Mercury's direct. You want to back up your files. You want to communicate very directly. Make sure and verify that your email was received, that the person understood what you were trying to say. Don't speed. And in communication, ask questions. Make sure you're understanding what the other person's trying to say to you. Confirm that you received the email. Check appointment times. Make sure if you are booking tickets or planning a trip that everything is refundable, everything is changeable, and you can diffuse a lot of potential arguments by just being more clear during this time. Now, Mars will retrograde in Leo, like I mentioned, from December 6th, 2024 till the 23rd of February of 2025. Now, Mars usually represents energy, drive, and the pursuit of goals. When it goes backwards, this dynamic energy turns inward. People may find themselves doubting their wishes, aspirations, and plans. This phase invites a re-examination of the direction one's going in, allowing for a more mindful approach to reaching goals. The backward motion reminds us that slowing down and revising strategies can be as important as moving forward. How do you spend your time, and how much do you actually enjoy your work? Where do you need to have more fun? Where do you need to have less fun? Topics involving children can also appear. During Mars retrograde in Leo, our actions become more spontaneous, yet reflective. This period prompts us to utilize our exceptional synthesis skills, enhancing our effectiveness of our endeavors. And as a result, you may exhibit less passion, but you'll gain composure and you'll become more efficient in your actions. Now, earlier this year, in August, Mercury retrograded in Leo, like I just mentioned, and Venus did in 2023. So what have you learned from this house in your chart? As Leo deals with creativity, loyalty, honor, love affairs, romance, children, self-employment, money, politics, gambling, taking risks, self-expression, confidence, rights and freedoms, sovereignty and fun. But for you, this is also in your 11th house, so it adds the area of friends, beneficiaries, co-workers, luck, certifications, legislation, groups and associations, the future, your goals and dreams for the future, electronics, online connections, technology, stepchildren, innovation, political affiliations, and humanitarianism, and politics. Did I mention politics? So this all comes together for you in that area. So there's a reworking of this area for you in 2024, as you've already been working on it since 2023 with Venus there. Now let's talk eclipses. I'll just briefly cover them here, as we'll be going into them in more detail throughout the year, as well as other major transits. Now, with the nodes in Aries and Libra currently, the focus shifts from the partnership dynamic, South Node in Libra, to an exploration of individual identity, North Node in Aries. And the call is to stand up for our rights without losing our sense of self. The emphasis is on recognizing ourselves first as in unique individuals. As Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, it amplifies our unique differences within the context of humanity. The North Node in Aries urges us to protect our individuality in the face of these cosmic shifts. I'll be covering these eclipses more in depth throughout the year, therefore I will just mention them at this time. On March 25th, there will be a Libra Lunar Eclipse full moon at 5 degrees of Libra, which will be an ending or culmination or fruition of sorts, something coming into its ripe fullness in your first house of self, identity, your approach to life, your attitude, your physical body, your condition of your vehicle, beginnings, relationships, me versus the other, and your appearance. On April 8th, this is the main eclipse of the year, in my opinion, that needs to be watched. There will be an Aries Solar Eclipse new moon at 19 degrees, a new beginning or a seed of intention in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, in love or work, contract and agreements, lawsuits, consultations, one-on-one relationships, the public and open enemies. September 17th, there will be a Pisces lunar eclipse full moon at 25 degrees of Pisces, and this is the first eclipse in the Pisces-Virgo axis transition, a closing out, an ending or fullness or ripe completion in your 6th house of health, daily routines, employees, tenants, responsibilities, your office, your daily exercise routines, your uncles and aunts, but something in your daily life that's changing. Then on October 2nd, there will be another Libra eclipse, but this time a solar eclipse new moon at 10 degrees. That will reflex off of that March eclipse. A new beginning or seed of intention by letting go of something connected to the lunar eclipse of March in the first house of self, identity, approach to life, attitude, physical body, condition of vehicle, beginnings, relationships, me versus the other, as well as your appearance. Well, thank you for listening, Libra Rising. A main focus for you this year is rethinking and reworking your future goals and how you're moving forward, as well as relationships, intimacy, trust, balance in general, and dealing with responsibilities while supporting your load by taking better care of your physical health. Financial breakthroughs are possible now, and healing from past traumatic experiences that now lead to healthier choices in partnering. You can also check out my consultations and offerings on my website, which includes Wild Apothecary. It also has the link here below of my 2024 Astrology Mundane Highlights video. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May 2024 be filled with blessings coming your way. Until next time.